In the most high-pressure situations imaginable, Navy SEALs use a psychological technique so powerful it can shut down self-doubt in exactly 5 seconds. When failure means life or death, when decisions must be made under extreme duress, elite operators don't have the luxury of second-guessing themselves. They need a method to bypass the paralysis of doubt and move directly into decisive action. That method is what I'm sharing with you today. A psychological circuit breaker that works not through motivation or positive thinking, but through a precise neurological hack that silences self-doubt almost instantly. Before I reveal the technique itself, you need to understand what's happening in your brain when self-doubt strikes. This isn't just about psychology, it's about neuroscience. When you face a challenging situation, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, approaching someone new, or confronting a personal fear, your brain's threat detection system activates. The amygdala, your primitive alarm system, floods your body with stress hormones while simultaneously reducing blood flow to your prefrontal cortex, the rational, decision-making part of your brain. This creates what neuroscientists call paralysis by analysis, a state where you overthink, second-guess, and ultimately fail to act. Your brain literally prevents you from performing at your best exactly when you need to most. What makes this worse is that this paralysis happens in milliseconds before your conscious mind even registers what's happening. By the time you're aware of your self-doubt, the neurological shutdown is already well underway. This is where the 5-second rule comes in. Developed initially in special operations training and later refined by performance psychologists, this technique interrupts the brain's threat response before it can fully establish itself. Here's how it works. The moment you feel self-doubt beginning to creep in, you start a simple mental countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At 1, you move immediately into physical action, no matter how small. This isn't magical thinking, it's neurological intervention. The countdown does 3 critical things to your brain. First, it disrupts the amygdala's threat response by forcing your brain to focus on a specific, non-threatening task, counting backward. Second, it activates your prefrontal cortex through the act of counting, re-engaging your rational brain precisely when you need it most. Third, by linking the countdown directly to physical action, you create a causal chain that bypasses the paralysis response entirely. The key is that the entire process must happen within 5 seconds. Research in neuroplasticity shows that this is approximately the window of time before a threat response fully establishes itself in your neural pathways. Let's look at how to apply this in real-world situations. In professional contexts, the 5-second rule is invaluable. When you need to speak up in a meeting but feel that flash of hesitation, immediately count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start speaking on 1, even if you don't feel ready. The act of counting interrupts the doubt spiral while the immediate action prevents paralysis from setting in. The same applies to difficult conversations, asking for a raise, or presenting to senior leadership. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, followed by immediate action, bypasses the self-sabotage that keeps so many talented people from advancing in their careers. In social situations, this technique is equally powerful. When you see someone you want to approach, the moment you feel the hesitation, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move toward them on 1. When you need to establish a boundary, but feel that flutter of doubt, count down and speak up immediately. The technique works because it doesn't try to eliminate the fear or doubt. It simply prevents these emotions from hijacking your actions. You might still feel nervous, but you'll act despite the nervousness rather than being paralyzed by it. For personal challenges, the applications are endless. Starting a difficult workout, beginning a challenging project, or facing a long-avoided task, the 5-second rule provides the neurological bridge between intention and action. What makes this technique particularly effective is that it can be enhanced with physical anchoring. Navy SEALs often combine the mental countdown with a specific physical gesture, touching thumb to forefinger, or applying brief pressure to the sternum, to create a stronger neural association. You can develop your own physical anchor to amplify the effect. The key is consistency. Using the same physical gesture each time you implement the countdown creates a powerful, conditioned response that strengthens with each use. For maximum effectiveness, combine the 5-second rule with tactical breathing. As you count down, breathe in for counts 5 and 4, hold for 3, and exhale for 2 and 1. This respiratory control further interrupts the amygdala's stress response while oxygenating your brain for optimal performance. The beauty of this technique is its simplicity and immediate applicability. Unlike most psychological interventions that require extensive practice before showing results, the 5-second rule works the very first time you use it and becomes more powerful with each application. This isn't about eliminating self-doubt forever. It's about having a reliable tool to prevent doubt from controlling your actions in critical moments. Even the most confident, accomplished people experience self-doubt. The difference is that they don't allow it to determine their behavior. The next time self-doubt strikes, whether in a professional challenge, social situation, or personal test, you now have exactly 5 seconds to take back control. Not through motivation or willpower, but through a precise neurological intervention that elite performers have relied on in the most demanding circumstances imaginable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then act. It's that simple and that powerful. Which situation in your life will you apply this to first? The technique is in your hands. The only question is whether you'll use it.